Hello there. Welcome to Pod Maverick. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined as always by Josh Bowe. We are coming to you at the very strange time of 9 p.m. The Dallas Mavericks have finished up their game for the night instead of it being halftime. They just beat the Brooklyn Nets 123 to 114. Josh, how you doing?
Oh, I don't even know. I know it's kind of like it's how we start the show. You ask me how you're doing. You say the score, and I feel like we could just auto generate the responses. Like that was another game. we will do our best to talk about it. I'm doing okay. I guess it was an early game, which is always nice. But yeah, the Mavericks, they played another game. They won. They played a game against another team that's just as bad as they are, and so I will say the one thing that's kind of funny and the difference between the NBA now and when we were watching in high school and before is, remember when like two bad teams would play against each other and the score would be like 81 to 76 and it was like, it was like two kids throwing rocks against a brick wall for 2 hours. And now in the NBA, when two bad teams play against each other, it looks like an ABA game from
a pace
from
thing.
The 70s. It's just funny
because there's the pace thing. So those games, you're right, I remember, would go down and you'd use the whole shot clock, and then if you'd get an offensive rebound, it would reset to 24 seconds, which doesn't seem like much compared to it resetting to 14 seconds now, but it changes the way teams approach it, where you've got to get a second shot back up. Like, you don't get to go reset your offense and go through, whatever, fist up play we're calling again. And these games definitely have like a pace to them. And this was another just very funny game, at least for the I always over-index the Twitter discourse. I think everyone does. It is a societal problem. We need to ignore Twitter. Just gonna say, everybody just stop tweeting. I have 600,000 tweets. I'm really one to talk. But I say that in that, if you're upset that the Mavericks won this game, you weren't paying attention to their schedule whatsoever. The Mavericks are a professional basketball team that wound up in this position. And the moment, like, they did a good job trading Anthony Davis. I want to be clear here. That was the key thing. But the moment they didn't move off any other veterans, this was going to happen. Like, they're going to win just enough games for where the Mavericks sit probably 7 to 10 in the lottery positioning. And it is what it is. It's not ideal. Like, they still play enough road games to where they could just get the shit kicked out of them down the stretch regardless. And tonight, they're playing the Nets, and they were up double digits in the first half. The only reason this game got close is Chris Middleton separated his shoulder, which I did not see. Did you?
No, well, they said it's a stinger. I don't know if it's a
stinger. You're right. I'm sorry.
That's pretty serious, but I don't know. Maybe it is.
It's a stinger. You're right. That's exactly what it was. And we're being careful, and also we're really institutionally trying not to win this game. And the challenge quickly becomes is like they just don't have anybody else they can play other than AJ Johnson, who absolutely sucks. Like, every single player they put in is competent. And that's just going to happen. Like, these guys the players aren't interested in losing. None of them might be here next year, even Najee. Like, they're going to play hard. That's fine. And so you're just going to get games like this. And, the Nets pulled it within 4 points with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And then the Mavericks went on a run to close the game. And that's the second time that's happened in 2 games. And it's their players give a shit more than the Nets players. The Nets players, like, I was putting my kid to bed and I had the game cast on, and I'm watching these names that flash across, and I'm just like, I don't know who Ochai Agabaji is. Don't know him. I don't feel bad not knowing him. Drake Powell sounds entirely made up as a basketball player. I know they have a bunch of rookies and stuff like that, but it's just, this is a world-class tanking organization they have going on here. Like, that's not, the Mavericks are never going to be able to do that ever.
Yeah. So. Yeah. These 4 games they're playing in a row. It's very funny how the schedule works. Like Indiana, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Memphis. Like, this is Oh boy, I couldn't find my mute button.
That's fine.
Like these games have been like Bane and Dark Knight Rises. Like, oh, you think tanking is your ally? I was born in the tank. I molded by it. Like that's like you're not going to out tank these teams that have lived the tank. They didn't just learn the tank; they've lived the tank. So again, anyone getting too upset about these losses, I mean, just don't even watch. Like just look at the box score and be about your day. And then if you want to watch because you want to see some of these players. That's probably the hardest part. Is like we talked about after the Pacers game, is at least during those years before Luka, there was like Dennis Smith, and then they took some chances on some other younger guys that got some minutes. Although like there was still a lot of minutes for like Wesley Matthews and Harrison Barnes and stuff like that. But for the most part, there was like, okay, they're trying to build. That was back when Dwight Powell was like a new thing, which is really funny to say in the year 2026 now. But I think that's probably the hardest part. Is there still so many pieces left over from when the team was a different version of itself? Like, I mean, they still have, PJ and Daniel Gafford were literally starting games in the 2024 NBA Finals. Like it's hard. One, that's going to make it hard to lose games against teams that are professional losers, and then two, it's also like, it's PJ, it's Gafford, Middleton, like Clay. Again, we talked about this FDN game. These are all guys that might not be here when Cooper Flagg leads this team to the playoffs next. So for fans that want to watch, it's like, okay, well, there's no youth excitement to really draw you there. And then you also, there's the other part of the fan base that just wants them to lose every game. So that's tough, but you can't blame the players. Like you said, they're going to do what they're paid to do.
No, and it's like you said, they're not unentertaining to watch. It just feels sort of we're just
spinning our wheels.
Yeah, and it's not awful bad. Like we've watched some awful basketball, and
this is fine.
This is fine. Like that 20 the Harrison Barnes first year, like that was heinous basketball. It was so I remember because it was the summer of 2016. I was so mad when they signed Harrison because they're like, oh, he's going to be our new primary guy. And I'm like, the guy who just absolutely died on the vine in the NBA Finals is going to be our new guy. That's cool. And then they proceeded to run like the long two post-up offense. Like it was incredible. This is nothing like that. This is at least something. Najee Marshall does weird stuff all the time. Seeing PJ, of course he hurt his ankle. We can kind of talk about that. Like the fact that he sprained his ankle on a non-contact roll. And I don't know about you. Do you have ankles like that? Like mine are.
Yes. That was the only bad high school injury I had. I had an ankle sprain that kept me out for like 3 weeks.
And mine are like that, but I just bounce back. Like they never really swell up, but I sprain them like walking the dog. Like it's very like you can tell just because it hurts me, but I like keep going kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And like the PJ Gafford injuries are really frustrating because you don't know if it's a question of them, the training staff, or a combination of the two, where it's like, all right, are we just not getting this together? But again, PJ hurts himself. That was kind of frustrating, but he actually looked okay. Like he was doing some things in this game. Like PJ getting a little bit more of his groove back, I think is important, because if you theoretically want to trade any of these guys, then they need to look like functional basketball players. They just do. Christie's obviously quite good. One of the things that I need to pay more attention to him is the kind of shots he's taking. He's 1 of 5 from 3 tonight, but the single biggest thing that Christie needs to improve upon if he's going to continue to be like a functional part of the rotation is he's got to hit the occasional movement 3. Catch and shoot threes for him, or if he's going downhill, look great. When he's coming off screens and stuff like Clay, those shots look gross.
Yeah, I think it's something about he doesn't have the quickest release, so I wonder if that's part of it. I might be off on that, but he got to the rim a lot. He actually missed. He was 5 of 12, and 3 of his 5 makes were in the restricted area. So a good rim, yeah, good rim game for him. Although it's the Nets.
No, but I'm fine with it because when he came to the team last year, the dribbling was not good. That was like a very obvious like point of process for improvement for him because he started hitting all those like single dribble pull-ups, and we were really excited because he had like 12 straight games of 15 points. Then all of a sudden
he was shooting like 60% from mid-range. Yeah.
And then it's like a team started running him more, and there was just no handle. And I do think his handle, or at least his ability to accept pressure while being handled, has improved.
Yep. Marvin Bagley's fun,
dude. Great. He's great. If Dwight Powell does he have another year on his contract, Dwight Powell?
No, I think he's on a one year. Okay, but I can double check.
If there's a slot on the team for an energy big, give it to this guy. Just give it to this guy. Dwight Powell can become an assistant coach. He can become assistant general manager. I don't give a shit.
I mean, you could bring Dwight back, just trade Gafford and let Bagley be your backup center.
That's true. See, but you really want him as a backup center? I don't know if he can do that.
Well, then
he's like a fourth big for me, not a third big.
Okay, then maybe you split your backup minutes with Bagley and Cisse. I mean, it depends on how serious they want to be next season.
That's a good point.
We'll see.
And we're going to be talking about that at length as the year goes on. All right, a little bit halfway through. I got a couple more things I want to talk about after the break, and then we can just finish this one off and let people, get on with their days and weeks and years. There are 3 ways to support the show. Tell your friends. I promise when there's more to talk about, we will talk about more things. There's just not a lot right now, and I'm not going to waste people's time. I'm also not near as good as some of our competitors at coming up with topics on shit days. The second way to support the show, there's links. You can give us money. Third way is, of course, listening to the ads, which you guys have been doing, and we are grateful for. So Josh and I will be right back. Thanks so much for hanging out. Okay, thanks for waiting. The Mavs parties and group therapies and such, they will make a comeback when we actually have people in the room here. We don't have a lot of volume. I don't want to be, there's always a couple of folks that are willing to talk. But, we got Thursday, Friday back to back. The likelihood that I do one for one of those there is probably pretty high. So we'll see where it goes. The last few things I want to touch on, and then we can go. And then if there's anything you want to touch on, Josh. Somebody in the chat, Mavs Hive Mind says, I'm wondering if Cooper is being put on ice for a bit. I would say no. Today wouldn't have been a good day to bring him back. They got stuck in Indiana. They're traveling. They're trying to get to the arena. Everybody's pregame schedule is thrown off. I think when that happened, if there was any chance of him coming back, that just kind of got thrown out the window because you want him to come back on circumstances where his foot where they feel confident.
Normal warm-ups and routine. Yeah.
And we sometimes forget that, that they have pretty complicated pregame, ritual is not the right word, but it's just a routine, everything you go through. So I think it's a good question. It wouldn't shock me if he comes back soon enough. I will continue to wonder why whatever source Tim McMahon talked to said he would be back right after All-Star break. Like that was the completely crashed with the Jeff Stott's injury data. Like it was half of what he had said. Anyway, not really a big deal. The last thing I was thinking about while watching this game, other than the stuff we've already talked about, is compared to last night's Spurs Pistons game, where the Pistons offense just sort of shat itself and they just need shooting. And then you watch Klay Thompson go nuts tonight, as he did in his 3-point shooting. It blows my mind that the Mavericks, and he probably was never even approached for a trade because unless he said himself that he wants to move. I mean, they want to do right by the guy, but it's just from a basketball fit, it's just crazy to me that the Pistons didn't do anything better.
Yeah, the more it goes, the more I'm just convinced that they approached him and said, do you want to be traded? And he said no, or like wait till the summer, or something like it. That's the only logical excuse. If Klay was willing to be traded at the deadline, then that is an insane failure of whatever the top 6 seed GMs of each conference not trading for him.
Yep.
Because he's an absolutely he's absolutely a difference maker. And there are, like you said, Detroit desperately needs more shooting. So the only way I can justify it in my brain is that Clay was like, don't move me till the summer. I don't want to go mid-season, or I want to stay. Cause otherwise you're right. It makes it's confounding if there's any other
Did you catch any of the clips of that game, by the way?
No, I didn't. The Detroit Spurs game.
I would go find like Google highlight package to have on second screen.
I heard it was like a rock fight. Both teams shot like right around 40%.
Ball game. It wasn't like the 2005 finals. Like there was a fair amount of scoring. Cade Cunningham was awful from at least shooting wise, but it's like Wembanyama was in control of the game from the defensive end. Like very much one of those like a shark where it is out prey. Like it was incredible to watch.
How much does it annoy you that team is really good now?
Yes and no. I mean, Stephon Castle being good is actually much more. It makes them much more interesting to me than Dylan Harper, because like getting a number 1 and a number 2 pick, well, of course you ought to be good, but instead of Harper's, he's not really shown much this year relative to potential expectations in the rest of the rookie class. And then Castle is just nails. So like it bothers me, but less so than it used to. They're just in a different place. And like when you watch these really good teams play, I'm always a shit about the Mavericks. Like it's just kind of my deal. I'm largely pessimistic, but I'm also largely right, because everybody gets so excited and wants to, oh, we're going to be this kind of team next year. And it's like when you watch these really, really good teams, it makes me think, okay, we don't need to rush this process. We don't need to rush it. And obviously we don't get a say in it, but it's a long way to go from looking like a team like that. In a high stakes game, it doesn't mean you can't play the occasional good game where everybody balls out, but like the process where you're like a dominant team night in and night out, it took the Mavericks 4 seasons to get there. Really, and that was after the Mavericks tried to rush part of their rebuild anyways by pushing the Porzingis thing ahead. So I don't know. It's just something that goes in my head every now and again as I'm watching, the Mavericks build, because you said something earlier about it depends on what kind of team they want to be next year. And our Slack has regular arguments about this, where already our Slack guys are like, oh, we can compete for like an 8th seed, and okay. I get it. I get it. We don't have a pick realistically, but to what end is really the question, because it's like, I would almost, just speaking, in February 2026, be the kind of team that can facilitate trades and acquire more assets and build that way. I don't know. It's a thing that just sort of goes through my head, because I do like the basketball. I think they have a very solid foundation, which is the hard part. But then it just, because they've done the hard part doesn't mean everything else gets easier. So.
No, I'm with you. I just brought up Victor because I know that it annoyed you how much he talked when he'd not been on a good team, and now now he's on maybe now he's backing it up on one of the one of the best teams in the NBA.
But I was listening to a True Hoop Collective podcast, Brian Windhorst one, and my friend Tim Bontemps made a good point where he's just like, look, like you have to play basketball every other night for 2 months. Can any of these younger teams do that? Just because they're like perhaps physically ready and they have the talent on paper to do it, does not mean they can actually execute. And one of the things that's going to drive me nuts about the Thunder till the end of time is the Mavericks beat the shit out of them in 2024. Like they really beat that. Was my birthday? That's right.
Yeah, it was your birthday. Your 40th, right?
That was my 40th birthday during when they sealed Game 6, and like there's this notion now in hindsight that like the Mavericks got lucky. They won 4-2, and Luka didn't even play that well. Like the Mavericks were awesome in that series, and the Thunder were not ready. They were not ready. And that doesn't mean, they wouldn't have been by the next year, but the fact that the Mavericks, dismantled a contending team all based on account of the fact that the GM is an idiot, it will, kind of chat my ass for a while. It's one of those things that I think about when we're trying to rebuild a team, where it's like, you got to get there, to be in that top 6, let's just say, of the NBA. It is just, it's not a straight line path. You have to get lucky and be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you see obviously last season and this season, you look at how it's playing out, and it's like there's not like a power vacuum, but there was a chance. Like the Thunder won the title last year. They're obviously the best team in the NBA, but they didn't look unbeatable in that playoff run last year. They don't look unbeatable this season.
Right.
Obviously the Spurs are really good. The Pistons are really good, but those don't like put the fear in your boots like the Durant Warriors did, or even the LeBron Heat teams. Even before then, like it just, yeah, it's a shame. They were right there, and these 2 years could have been the years for them to break through before Wembanyama kind of gets fully on board, which I mean, I guess it's happening now this season, but now it's like, did that window's closed for maybe the next 2 or 3 years, but now they got an 18-year-old, so they don't have to jam it open right now, or a 19-year-old in Cooper.
We got anything else we want to touch on?
And I don't know.
But it doesn't have to be basketball.
Did you know? I mean, did you know the Mavericks scored 66 points in the paint again, which is just stupid. How many points in the paint they've been scoring?
I see it a lot more now that you pointed it out.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It's just 31 of their 48 made field goals were in the paint tonight. Like, it's just. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets who are just giving their damnedest on the defensive end, but the Mavericks also, put the screws to them. So just basketball wise, it was, you look at the 3-point shooting and they got killed on the 3-point line again. It's like, well, how do you make up for that? Well, it's like you make every other shot. You just right. Don't miss your 2-pointers.
That's the answer.
Yeah. So.
Well, I got 2 more things I want to talk about, but neither of which is actually Dallas Mavericks basketball. I just have to make a recommendation to everybody right now that if you are looking for something different to do, if you want to watch some basketball, but you're like, I'm fed up with these Mavericks, you simply have to go check out some of the local playoff stuff out here in DFW for high school basketball. The Dallas Morning News, has really good coverage, like just Dallas local. Like, you say what you want about the Dallas Morning News, but for local high school sports stuff, they do a fantastic job of covering it. And it's gonna be like, I missed the team I follow because I went there and played there was Coppell High School, and they played a barn burner against Plano East last night. Like, I was watching the highlight clips and stuff, and it's just like, these kids do shit that we couldn't have fucking done. Like,
I know.
And I played 5A basketball at a 3,500 person high school, and like the things these kids do now, like the level of play is so amazing. And I was really excited for my guys because it was their first time. There are 8 seniors on the team, and their first time back to the first time for any of them to go to the playoffs because they haven't made the playoffs in like 4 or 5 years, something like that. So that was pretty cool. But there's a bunch of games that'll be going on like this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you can find access to them really easy. Most of the time it's like $5 to $7 to go to the games. Games are like an hour and 15 minutes, and it's just really, really fun.
Yeah,
really fun.
You'll be stunned at like thinking back at the names that you saw. Like the NBA pipeline from DFW is it's every year it gets big. It feels like it's bigger and bigger. It's insane.
But even like
it was big when we were in school. It's even like it's nuts now. It's just nuts. But
even like the lower level classifications, I got a buddy who lives in, I think it's Collinsville. It's like a 2A high school, and he posted a long video of like the playoff game, and it was awesome. And it's like, these are they kind of look, obviously it's a very different looking kid. The kids are much smaller. You don't have everybody that's 6'4.5" kind of thing. Like it feels like in these games, but I don't know, just if you need a basketball fix and college doesn't do it for you, an hour and 15-minute high school game might work it out. So anyway, what was the last thing? Oh, did you watch the Night of the Seven Kingdoms finale?
I did. It was terrific.
Just
it was
great television.
Just exactly what I needed.
30-minute television is
incredible,
extraordinarily underrated.
and getting the job done. Not, I don't feel like I needed more. Like they said what they needed to say. Didn't feel rushed. It was great. And I don't watch Game of Thrones. I don't watch House of the Dragon.
So how did you get tuned into that one then?
Because Megan is big Game of Thrones and fantasy.
Okay, so you're just like, it's a half hour.
And she wasn't gonna watch it because she was so burned on season 8 of Game of Thrones, and then she did not like House of Dragon season 2. Apparently, that wasn't great. I don't watch them, so I don't know. But I've obviously heard the jokes about the last season of Game of Thrones. I
like everything.
I know, but she was really burned, and she was like, "I'm not gonna watch it. Like, I'm done. Like, they burned me twice, and I don't want to do it." And I was just like pleading with her because I was reading reviews. I was like, "I don't even watch this, but everyone's saying this is great." And it's exactly what you were looking for from those shows that they didn't give it to you. Like you just like, I was like, I'll watch it with you. Like you have to watch it because I don't want you to miss something that's so in your wheelhouse because of how you got burned on those last couple seasons there. So I mean, I know my Game of Thrones knowledge is through like osmosis. Yeah. No, it didn't matter. It did not matter. Obviously like Megan loved all the little Easter eggs and references to characters that are
the fifth episode for you're a film guy. The fifth episode was like, that's the sort of one I would like to watch on the big screen because there was just like shots in that where it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it looked it also looked it didn't look like it was shot in front of a green screen the whole time, which is not cool. Like even if something's like not good, like story wise, if it looks that's my bar now. Like I'll go to movies that I'm not even interested in if they just like look like visually like look good because I'm like, I just need something like that. But
my half hour pitch to you then, and I've said this in Slack, but I'll just say it to people, is I wrapped up this 8 episode run of a likely 1 season only show on Disney Plus called Wonder Man with Ben Kingsley and I think is Yahya Abdul Mateen, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, I've heard that's fun. Yeah, I've heard it's fun.
It's like watching 2 people who are like A++ people at their craft be in this world which they're kind of making fun of. And it was like, I watched the pilot and turned to Mary and was like, I've never seen anything like this. Like the closest thing I can think of was HBO's Watchmen. Did you watch that several years ago?
I did not, but I know that was
another good one. Just like a genre bending kind of like what's happening here show. And I don't know. Anyway, I know we normally don't do this and in the middle of the season, but hey, I wanted to talk about something else because I'm gonna go watch something right now and then probably play Hades. I've done like 85 runs in Hades. I'm a sicko.
Oh, that's great. That's what I did. It's a phenomenal game. When are you gonna go to part 2?
When it comes out on Xbox, probably.
So. It's not on.
No, I just
I forgot. It's not.
You've seen my PC setup. It's very sad.
I know. I forgot. It's not on everything right now. It's on Switch. Hades 2's on Switch.
Oh, you want to know? Parker asked me if he could play Skyrim, and I'm sitting here going, that game came out 5 years before you were born. Like you are 10. Like,
yeah.
Oh, he doesn't understand. I was like, buddy, you know, like Breath of the Wild, which he's still playing through. I was like, Breath of the Wild is the greatest open world experience for someone at your level.
Yes. No. Yeah. Well, has he played the sequel?
No, because I think it would overwhelm him, and he needs to finish the first one. So.
Right, but if he finishes the first one, like have him play that instead of Skyrim. Yeah.
And I also, I have a. He doesn't even know this is here. I have a Breath of the Wild like a game guide for him.
I love those.
I do too. Anyway, well, that makes us Josh talk about anything other than basketball.
Yeah. I remember huddling over my Metal Gear Solid 2 guide back in 2001.
The best.
Figure it all out.
All right, we'll be back on Thursday, Friday. They play the Kings, which I keep getting emails. Like the Mavericks are basically trying to there must be no one going to this game because I've gotten 5 different emails about Mavs Kings tickets.
They are going to be given. They probably can't even give those away right now.
And it'll be the first Mavs home game since time before time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then Friday, Memphis. At least they got a nice little Sunday night though against Oklahoma City. Why are they playing at 7:00 on a Sunday? It's not even a national TV game. What's going on there?
How do we?
Do they want people not to go?
How do we blame Mark Cuban?
There's no football. I mean, maybe that's a Stars thing. I don't know. That's weird.
That's a good point. It might be.
Yeah.
All right, guys, everybody be good. Stay out of trouble. Don't get on the internet too much. It'll just there to make you mad. Everybody be good. Talk soon. Go Mavs.